Hi guys, today I have an Iron Fist haul for you, and surprise surprise, both of the dresses I bought have bats on them. I also have a tiny little kitten who's decided to fall asleep in the most inconvenient place. So both of these Iron Fist items are dresses. I got one of them off of Amazon because it was completely sold out on the Iron Fist website, and I also got one from the Brighton Tattoo Convention, so it was slightly cheaper than it would have normally been. This first dress I saw on Instagram, and literally as soon as it went up on the Iron Fist website, it was completely sold out in every size other than, I think it was small. And I can totally understand why, because I think it's such a pretty dress. Now, I'll just show you sort of the main element of the dress. It does also come with an underslip. So it is in a skater style, and it is this mesh dress, and it's got all of these velvet bats on it. The thing I did really like about it is that although it's mesh, it does also have a nice sort of sewn in collar, which I think just completely finishes off the look. The sleeves are relatively long, and then the actual dress itself is quite short, and it does have this really pretty trim at the bottom. So as soon as I saw this dress, I knew I needed to have it. I absolutely love bat themed things, and I don't normally buy off of Iron Fist just because it is quite pricey just for one piece of clothing, but I knew I had to make an exception for this dress. I couldn't find it anywhere, like within England at all, and I looked on majority of the American websites, but this dress is around £50 as it is, so when you add on sort of £10 shipping, it just seems like way too much. I did finally find a seller on Amazon who was selling these, but they were only selling extra large. I normally do go for like either a medium or a large, and as I said, I haven't got any dresses from Iron Fist before, so I wasn't quite sure what their sizing was like. So it turns out that the extra large is kind of way too big for me, but because it's mesh and it's meant to be quite sort of flowy, it really doesn't matter at all. Ideally, if I was buying this again, I would get just a normal size large, but I can just wear this with a belt if I do want to cinch it in. The slip that goes underneath is pretty plain, and you can switch this up really easily with something else. On one of the occasions where I've worn this dress, I wore kind of like a thicker vest like this underneath with a small kind of tube skirt, and it looked just as good. But the actual official slip that comes with it is a sort of strappy sleeve dress, and it's completely plain and straight. There's no sort of fitting to it at all. As you can see, this one is way too big for me. When I wore it, it was slightly embarrassing because I didn't realise at first, but it came down so low so that it was kind of like just covering the sort of bottom half of my bra. The majority of the bras that I wear are black anyway, so you can't really tell when it's through the mesh, but it is just something to consider. I didn't want to make the straps that much shorter because then it kind of covered up the whole detail on the chest, which is sort of the main part of this mesh that you do see. Material itself does feel of a really sort of sturdy quality. I do find with some meshes they do kind of pull and you get holes in them, and then if they're too thick then they sort of lose the meshy sort of look. The only thing that I'd say is that the bats, although you can see all of them perfectly well, it is slightly inconsistent when it comes to the amount of the velvety material that they're made out of, but they are kind of printed onto the mesh, and really it doesn't matter at all. I feel like if you got the correct size of this dress, the cut of it would be so flattering, but I just find that because mine is slightly too wide, it does give a slightly sort of top heavy look to it. The material does have a slight stretch to it as well, so I feel like if you downsize one size it wouldn't matter too much. This dress is very short, and I did end up wearing some sort of bicycle shorts underneath, so you couldn't really see them when I was wearing the dress, but when I sort of bent over I just made sure that I didn't like flash to everyone. I checked on the Iron Fist website and they do have a few more of these in stock now. but they do go really quickly. So I'd say if you want one of these dresses and you find one, just nab it as soon as you can. This dress cost me between £48 and £49, so it's probably one of the more expensive dresses that I normally buy, but I definitely feel like this is going to become one of my staple pieces. This second dress I bought has been on the Iron Fist website for slightly longer than the first one I showed you, and this is from the Bat Royalty range, which I do believe the mesh one may be part of as well. The reason that I haven't bought this dress already is because it is white, and I don't normally tend to wear much white. I tend to wear things a bit like this, which it does have white on it, but the majority of it is black. And the other thing is that it does have a mesh back. I don't tend to like to show my back much. I do have a small mole at the top of my back, which just completely makes me so self-conscious of my back. So buying something mesh, fully mesh on the back is definitely quite a bold move for me. And it has a really pretty collar. This one's more in a sort of Peter Pan style. And there is a button at the back of the collar if you do want to open it up and get it over your head. But mine went over my head absolutely fine because it is a very stretchy material. So the polar opposite of the last dress I got this one from the Brighton Tattoo Convention, and they only had this one dress left, and it is in a size medium, so it is slightly on the tighter side, whereas the other one's on the baggier side. Again, this dress is just as short as the other one. This really doesn't matter to me as long as I wear some shorts underneath. The material is such a good quality feeling material. It's really soft and it feels thick enough so that it's not going to be see-through when you wear it, but at the same time it's not a really heavy and uncomfortable thickness. The stitching as well on this dress is amazing. I do find sometimes when they mix sort of fabric types, the stitching can go a bit wrong, but there's literally no faults in the stitching at all. I do feel like I have to wear this dress with a cardigan just because it is sleeveless, and then the way that the skater style is cut and the fact that it is slightly too small does make it bunch out slightly at the sides. Of this dress that completely sold me when I saw it in person was the detail which are in these bats. I have a ton of bat themed clothing because I absolutely love bats, but none of them have such realistic bats on them, and this is something which I really liked. It looks like they've taken old sort of diagram books. They're really detailed rather than just sort of the general silhouette that you normally get on bat themed clothes. And of course it does have this overall sort of polka dot theme going through it. I do think just sort of makes it look almost more formal. So I got this dress for a steal. Normally this dress costs just under £50, and at the convention it was marked as £24, and then they charged me £22 for it. So I feel like this was like definitely worth it, because some of the dresses you buy in H&M and New Look, those kind of dresses are going to cost you £20 easily, and to get an Iron Fist dress at this price, I was really pleased. Another thing about this dress which I did want to mention, because I completely didn't understand it at first, because the back is mesh, it is designed so that you can wear this dress without a bra. It doesn't actually say this from what I can see on the website, but it does have a kind of like boob holding section inside. It's another sort of, it's a sort of thicker piece of material that is just on the inside of the dress, and it is elasticated at the bottom, and this means that your boobs kind of rest in it and it sort of holds them nice and safely so nothing sort of falls out as such. And it does mean that you can just have a fully mesh back without worrying about any sort of bra strap showing. Personally, I don't really mind too much. As I said, I'd probably be wearing this with a cardigan anyway, but it is just something to consider if you don't really like the fact that people could see your underwear. Although this dress is a size too small, it is still really comfy, and I'm so pleased with it. And I guess it is something I can look forward to wearing more when I do lose a bit of weight. Overall, I am so pleased with these dresses. I have always really loved Iron Fist dresses, but I've never been able to justify spending that much money on these dresses. When the Bat Royalty range came out, it did sort of spark my interest, and I'm so glad I finally got this dress, and I was so lucky to have found this one. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you got any comments or questions, please do leave them below. I will also link the Amazon store which I bought the first mesh dress from, just because I was looking for ages and this was the best price one that I could find. I hope that you have a lovely weekend and I will see you next time. Bye!